Should you believe a man's words? That's a big question to me because I was coaching an amazing woman. I will tell a little bit about the story, but I want to hear your thought on this one. Do you believe someone's, but especially a man's words?
I don't even believe you saying that.
You don't believe in me?
I don't know if you believe in
I've
what
done
you
everything I've
I
done
don't know
for
if you
you.
believe in what you just said. And let's not just bash men on that, but let's just say actions speak louder than words.
Okay. So you think that we need actions to back up the words?
100%. What would you say?
I would say the same thing, to be honest, because I've seen so many men since I started being able to manipulate a woman with words, and more than words, with hope. They give you hope to be in a relationship. They would give you hope that they would see you this weekend. They want to have kids. They want to get married. And 2 weeks later, they just forget everything they say. They are lost just because they had sex with you, because they feel that you're in love, that you're ready, available, etc., etc. So usually I would say, no way, we'd never listen a man's word. But
not at all.
don't you think that in certain cases we can listen to a man's words when we,
Well, I think when he has credibility,
Okay.
when they have experience, history, when they've built trust, that when they've learned that they can rely on each other, then yeah, of course. I think that's all fine, but that's after everything has been established. You guys have a foundation, you guys have a partnership, you guys have a commitment. And so, of course, you want to believe a man's words, you want to love a man's words and hope that he's telling you the truth, but that's after things are established. I looked at it where a client of mine was talking about the situation where, and I want to kind of go into this topic where when someone is trying to sell you with their words or false hope, or let's say extravagant lifestyle or things, that's what he hooks you with. Because if he treated you like crap the way he does behind doors, and if he's like that outdoors, what girl is he going to get? What guy is she going to get? So there has to be a little weird, if not two-faced situation. I'm not going to go into narcissist. He's not, no, you know what I mean? It's not all that. But there is a way where if they're not consistently who they are behind doors to outdoors, there's something wrong. There's something off there. And so usually I've seen a lot of clients who are obsessed or hooked, if not lost in a man's words, is because he's really good at reeling you in and then disrespecting you.
Yeah, I got the situation with my client. We were on the phone and she said, my ex, so they were in a relationship for 6 months and he was love bombing her, like love bombing with words, but also with some actions. Then he broke up suddenly and she contacted me and said, Alex, look, I really love him. I want to have no regrets. I want to get him back. We started with a little distance and she started to try to reconnect with him. No response. I worked with her on the past amazing emotional messages, not even a response. The moment she started to post on social media, he sees her smiling, going out with friends, doing new things. He reached out to her, very, very cold. Hey, I want my stuff back. When can I come? So she was scared to meet him. She was afraid. And when he came, he was reproaching and blaming her that she went out. She was feeling good when he was sad. He was flipping the story. And it's exactly what I see every single day. Men will use words to flip the story. They will use words to test you. And so he was at the end of the date saying like, I miss you so much. I want to be back with you. And I told my client, no, he doesn't care about you. He cares only about the control that he will have on you. The problem is that the subconscious mind will always imagine things. When someone will use words, we project ourselves immediately. So how can women protect themselves from a man's words only?
That's a great situation of what you just described right there, because I just thought about so many different client scenarios where, again, if a guy is manipulating you or their words aren't consistent of what they say they are, why are you surprised that they're using that skill of what they're doing to benefit them again?
Yeah.
Flipping the script. So if they're saying all these great things and love bombing and false hopes and fake promises, and they got you, and then now you're basically lost and he has total power, and then when things don't go his way in the sense of you breaking up with him or causing distance, why are you surprised that he's now going to use that same system, that same skill, which I know I'm not praising it, but it's a skill that he has. He's probably a good salesman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the idea, he's probably doing that again in the sense of manipulating the situation again. It's your fault. Why are you doing this? Why are you going out? Wow, the real you's coming out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so she feels gut checked to her self-esteem, if not questioning her character. Well, I don't want to come off easy. I'm not just going around sleeping around. You know what? Let's make this work. And so again, what he's doing is making her feel small to make him feel big. And so when you live off somebody's words, you're looking at where if you can make someone feel a certain way, they could take that away. And so you're not seeing the actual character of things. And usually when you said 6 months in this relationship, you don't know what that person's all about. You only know what you've seen and what you like.
Yeah.
And so I always look at it where you need to focus on two qualities in the beginning: character, high character, and the consistency of it. And let me ask you a question. I don't know if you don't know the answer, but I have an idea. Where do you think, or if not, what form of communication are they mostly using his words?
So I think that will be text message.
There you go. How convenient. I can edit. I can emoji it, heart face. I can kiss it. I could delete it. You know what I mean? I could play around I can hire a writer. I could tell my cousin, write that poem.
Now you can hire ChatGPT as well.
There you go. We're about to replace these guys, right?
No, but that's a very good point that you're telling me now, because it's every time we talk together, give me some ideas. But when you look at the coaching sessions that we do, men will use text message a lot, and they will delete their text message. So you wonder, what did you write? Sometimes you have seen it, but then you deleted it. So you will ask the question, what did you write? And you know what? It's all part of a game. And the one word that we need to swear by is consistency. You should never listen to a man's words. You need to always look at his actions, consistent actions. That's what we would be looking for.
And the communication, if he was saying nice words, kind words, romantic words, better be in person so you can observe.
Okay.
So you can analyze. So you can take actual face value of where they might saying it from. But if you base everything, let's say 80% of the communication of his words is through text, no tone, no voice, no eye contact, no mannerism, no bond, no vibe. All you see is heart emojis and roses and exclamation marks. So you're like, Prince Charming.
Yeah. It would give you a lot of dopamine, and your brain will ask for more. But
man, it's gonna drive you crazy. I remember one client a while ago when WhatsApp, they added a setting where you could edit your messages, and so she's very analytical.
Yeah.
And she was like, "What do you think he edited?" And I'm like, "Who cares?
Yeah.
Do you like the message? No. Then who cares what he edited?" It's like you're almost looking too further down the hole of what words can mean on a communication of no actual face-to-face value.
And that's a good point, because every of my clients, women, but also men, they are always asking me this question. What does it mean? They want to understand someone that will manipulate them with words. It sounds like you want to make sure that you get clarity, but people will manipulate you by not giving you this clarity, and you need to be aware of this to protect yourself. I think it's very important.
Well, that's where you lose, again, your trust of how you can feel respected or feel safe, or the credibility of who someone is. And I've had, again, a variety of people saying, well, coach, I prefer texting. I'm more comfortable with that. And I'm like, hey, then is everything okay with your relationship? No. Well, then maybe that's not working for you.
Maybe you need to change the system.
You need to, because today's world, communication is taken for granted, manipulated, always basically dramatized. You're only seeing what you think of what you're feeling at the moment compared to what I'm coming from. You know what I mean? So if you're tired and exhausted, 3 hours of sleep, and I'm saying something, you're like, you might just be tired, and you might take it a different way. But I don't know you're tired. I don't know you slept 3 hours. You know what I mean? So I might be like, oh, he's not excited. Alex is not excited for the podcast. Why? What's going on? We're not gonna do it? I only slept 3 hours, buddy. Oh, I'm surprised you're here. Damn, he really loves it. You know what I mean? So you can easily, misinterpret the situation because we're too dependent, being lazy. And again, if you're dating around and you're single and you're doing your thing, go ahead, mass text whatever you want. I don't care. But if you're specifically trying to look for a partner, a relationship to go further in life, step up, call somebody, take that risk. And a lot of times people always put too much pressure on themselves. Like, well, I mean, what am I going to talk about?
Yeah. They don't know. They're scared.
What am I going to talk about? I hear that. What do you mean? What are you going to talk about?
It would be easy.
Easy. And I'm like, well, listen, it's not a presentation. You don't have to drop a PowerPoint presentation. It doesn't have to be 45 minutes, but you don't realize a 2-3 minute phone call goes so much further than 45 minutes of text messaging.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea is you're trying. That person's probably also nervous too.
Mm-hmm.
But your idea is you want to be with someone who makes you feel at ease.
Yeah. And you want to make sure that there is actions behind words.
Exactly.
That's the one thing. So if I have to conclude this video, I will tell you one thing, ladies. You cannot listen to a man's words. You need to look at the action and the initiatives that he will take. The first step tells you a lot about someone.
Yeah.
So look at the consistency and don't fall for the beautiful words with no action or all the excuses of his divorce. He's busy, he's scared, he needs to take care of his daughters or son or whatever. He can have a busy schedule, but you are important as well.
I mean, that's the goal. And so you can't even be selfish about, oh, he's with his kids or he's working. What a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's got priorities and so does the other person. But the idea is you want to be included as a priority.
Love it.
You want to be selected in the sense of I value for you to know I'll call you when I can compared to I'll call you when I want to.
Yeah.
And so again, you feel that level of effort,
Mm-hmm.
which is a small little amount of effort to make you feel, again, chosen in a sense. Otherwise, that person's not taking you serious.
Love it. So guys, remember to leave a comment because we want to hear your question, ladies. We want to know what's going on in your love life. And if you need help, if you want to talk to someone, go to coachingwithandres.com. It's an amazing website. You would be able to have Coach Andres with you. You can come to my website, French Relationship Expert. And the reason why is because we are not just doing podcasts. We are really helping you every single day, privately, confidentiality, because that's important for us to be on your side.
100%. Go to my website, coachingwithandres.com. My contact information is there, and you'll have a free consultation if you mention Love Coach Podcast.
Ooh, love it, love it, love it. And the 5 stars review, right?
5 star, yeah. No consultation without 5 stars.
We will see you soon, ladies. Take good care of yourself.
Take care.